bodybuilders versus MMA fighters. Because if anybody want to set that up, like, I want to see. I really do.
The Tren Twins just challenged MMA fighters. What is up, guys? It is AJ. Today's video, doing something a little bit different. I'm reacting to the Tren Twins, who, if you guys don't know who they are, definitely check them out. The fastest growing fitness YouTube channel, period. These guys are straight killers with the weights. Now, at the end of their most recent video, which I have the clip of, they talked about seeing what would happen between bodybuilders and MMA fighters, which, I'll be honest, never a good idea for the bodybuilders. Let's listen in.
I might be like, all right, meet me, bro. I'll come to your gym, bro. I'll come to your fucking MMA gym. I'll be waiting outside. I ain't coming in
One
there.
day, don't be surprised if one day one of our videos are like fighting MMA fighters, bodybuilders versus MMA fighters. Because if anybody want to set that up, like, I want to see. I really do.
He wants to see what's going to happen between bodybuilders and MMA fighters. Now, earlier in the video, they were talking about, trolls that are like 150 pounds saying that because they push big weights, it doesn't make them good fighters. And like, these guys aren't like jokes on the weights. It's not like they're pushing 315. These dudes are benching like 500 at 21. Look at this freak. Absolutely insane. They push mad weight, both of them. The shorter brother, who's like built like Nick Walker, if you don't know him, he's like a freak bodybuilder. He looks just like a house, pushes like even crazier weight, but both these guys are killers. But as far as jumping into MMA and calling out guys that train as a professional, it's like an MMA fighter saying, yo, I want to challenge you guys on the bench press, or challenge you guys on the squat or deadlift or whatever fucking lift, because I'll be honest, these guys are top tier as far as that aspect goes. They're not fighters. What have they thrown? 50 punches in their life, maybe? There's them messing around right here. You can get an idea with Roughhousing how the style would look at these guys.
Fucking weird. You want me to smack you? Fucking
There's them kind of trolling, little smack on one another. But you see the sets, you see the stiffness. It's two guys that haven't trained before, ever. Are they beast? Absolutely. Are they going to be jumping in the cage and kicking ass? I highly doubt it. Balls for sure to say they want to do the challenge, and I think it would be a really fun video. But how would it actually go? From what I've seen of these guys, they're great athletes. They're savages on the weights. If you throw a 150-pound novice who's maybe been training a little jiu-jitsu only, or somebody who really doesn't have much experience but is doing martial arts, yeah, they're big motherfuckers. They could probably bully some small dudes. But if you're talking about challenging MMA fighters, how I assess it, what is an MMA fighter? Somebody who has fought inside of mixed martial arts, either professionally or amateur level. If you're thinking a guy who's trained for 5 years and competed is gonna get smoked by a guy who bodybuilds, I think you're living delusionally. Now, I'm just gonna make a fantasy matchup. Let's say a 170-pound MMA fighter that has 3 professional fights and maybe has a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He's well-rounded in the game. Versus these guys. You look at one of them, it's Manic Mike. He's the shorter one. He's about 5'7", 220-ish pounds. The taller brother, he's about 5'8", 210 pounds. Both these guys, super strong. But when you match either one of them against somebody that's trained in combat, they will lose. This is not your half-ass training kid doing jiu-jitsu once, twice a month who had a blue belt and hasn't trained really consistently in 4 years. They're talking about challenging MMA fighters, so how I hear that, it's someone who's actively competing. It's not going to go good. They're not going to be able to fight. They're going to find out that those muscles that they use for pushing heavy-ass weight, bodybuilding, is not the same as what it takes to be a fighter. There's technique involved. There's the precision, the accuracy, and realistically, if you've never been hit by a big punch, and then let's say they fight a striker, they fight somebody that actually knows a little bit of stand-up, one straight shot, even a jab to the nose, what are they going to do? Just go berserk and go crazy? If they're talking about doing a cage fight, that's 3 5-minute rounds. They're going to gas out in probably about a minute 15. It's not going to go well for them. I like the fun, and I'm enthusiastic about the idea, and I'm all in. Do they want to do it and make it happen? Let's go. And I'll make another offer. Tren Twins, I hope you're watching. I'm a big fan, and I think they bring mad motivation. I'd fucking jump in the cage with you guys. Either one of you. If you're down, sign me up. I'm not a pro MMA fighter. I got 1 amateur boxing fight, 1 kickboxing fight, and I got a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. So you're really fighting the lowest level of mixed martial arts possible, taking me on. Maybe you got a chance to put me down. Sign me up. I'm in. Hopefully there's some good incentive. And the other deal is I definitely need to work out with you savages. But if they really want to go the MMA fighter route, is not going to end well. I've seen what these MMA fighters are capable of, not just watching them in the cage, but doing some jiu-jitsu with them on the mats, watching them kickbox, having a chance to spar guys that are actually pros. I was training my ass off at one point, and when you put me in there with a pro, he's going to have to take it mad light, or this dude's going to flatline me. So now you're going to talk about somebody that's never even thrown punches consistently, someone that hasn't trained in martial arts. Yes, I get it. They're beastly athletes. They're savages on the weights, and you know, no average dude is probably going to take him out. If you put a $150 soaking wet dude that's done 3 jiu-jitsu classes, that thinks he's got a little bit of hands, they'll probably spike him and put him on his head. But if you're talking trained individuals that combat is their sport as opposed to bodybuilding, which is theirs, and you know what, it's mine. I love bodybuilding. If you guys are subscribed, you know I'm a bodybuilding freak because I live for it. They're going to smoke these cats. They're going to get beaten. Both the brothers. At the same time, I'll take the Tren Twins over, you know, some smaller MMA fighters. Maybe a heavyweight, though, we'll take them both down at once. But if you got a kid at 160, one at a time, I'd probably go MMA fighter all day. Can the Tren Twins fight on the street? I wouldn't pick a fight with. Realistically, a trained fighter, vast majority of the time, is going to be an untrained individual. Now, of course, the aspects of size, strength, toughness, whatever mentality could also play a factor. But I'm going to consider their challenge out to legitimate MMA fighters, not just somebody that's trained in martial arts, such as myself or any other average dude out there. How's it gonna go? MMA fighter will win. Probably 10 times out of 10 if they actually got real fights. Maybe if it was on the street and they hit him with one like sneak shot, yeah, they'll probably flatline a dude even if he's got 15 fights. That doesn't matter. They're still fucking got a lot of force behind their throws. But if it's a setup fight, even Stevens, we get in the cage and they say fight, odds are they're going to lose to MMA fighters. And we kind of already saw this with the Gracie era, jiu-jitsu versus bodybuilding back in the day. You've seen some savages cross over like Mariusz Pudzianowski. He jumped in to MMA and he's won fights, but he trained his ass off to be able to do the feats of mixed martial arts. It's not like he's just jumping out there with no experience like they would. They would have to totally change their mindsets about their training. They'd have to fucking commit to some mixed martial arts. But if they're talking fresh out right now, odds are they're definitely getting beaten by MMA fighters. They're probably losing to some trained guys. But if it's on the street and they sneak them with one shot first, street fighting is very different. But I'm talking organized cage fighting, you go the MMA fighter. Same as I would pick them to beat any MMA fighter in a bodybuilding show or any MMA fighter probably in a powerlifting meet because these guys are specialists at what they do. Very interesting subject that I hope you guys enjoyed. Fun video for myself. Big fan of those guys. I'll leave the link to their channel in the description because if you're not subscribed, it's straight motivation and comedy. I'm a big fan of it. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe here, smash the likes, and definitely let me know what you think in the comments. And maybe the Tren Twins will at least give me a chance to come train and spar with them, so they should hit me up. Peace, guys, and I will see you all in the next one.